Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Janice. Today's video, I'm going to be giving you Mia's 17th and 18th month update. It's basically been the same thing for the past couple of months, so I'm going to give you everything, all the rundown of that's been happening with Mia and how she's been developing, how she's been progressing and all that stuff. So if you want to go ahead and see Mia's 17th and 18th month update, go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about is Mia's ear tube update. I know I mentioned it in another vlog, update, whatever it was I believe it was my New York City vlog, that Mia was recommended to see an ENT about possibly getting her ear tubes done out of ear infections that she's received since basically 6 months. It was periodically happening every 2 months, her ear infections, and sometimes when we would go back to the doctor, the ear infection would still be showing, if that makes sense. The fluid would still be there even after the antibiotics, even after switching antibiotics, even after everything. Sometimes it still was there. So, of course, I didn't get to vlog much because I was in a hospital, but I did get some clips of myself and Mia going to Nemours Children's Hospital, and I'm going to play these right now. Good morning, guys. We are heading to Mia's ear tube consultation. I know she's going to be doing a hearing test, but I don't know what else they're going to do with her. Say hi! Mia's here watching The Secret Life of Pets. It's 8:40, her appointment's at 9, but they said to get 15 minutes to 30 minutes before. So we're at Nemours Children's Hospital and we're about to head out. Mia, you have your baby in the little maze. She's stuck in the maze? Oh my gosh.
No.
Are you ready for your appointment? There we go. Can you say cheese? With your baby? Who are you looking at? Okay.
Yeah.
Cheese. Mommy got an email. She took my visitor's badge. This is her baby. The first thing that we did at the hospital was a hearing test, and it was basically like a soundproof, like one of those recording studio type rooms, and it had like little figurines on the wall. There was like a little teddy bear with drums. There was like TVs on certain ends and then like speakers. And what the specialist would do was she had a really soft voice, so she would change the volume of her voice from really, really quiet to super, super loud and see if Mia would like look in the direction or acknowledge the direction that the noise was coming from. She passed that with flying colors. So we know that the ear infections have not been affecting her hearing, which was really good. So after that, I met with the ENT, and basically she was kind of giving me a choice. She said, do you want to go with the surgery? Or after she checked Mia's ears and noticed that she didn't have any fluid from June, which was her last ear infection, she said that was a good sign, which means that the fluid isn't staying in her eardrums past the antibiotics, which is good. And also because she passed the hearing test, they didn't want to right away say, oh yeah, let's do a surgery, let's go ahead and give her ear tubes, which I actually liked because I was already super nervous as it is. I I was just anxious. My dog, thinking of Mia going into surgery, so many things were running through my mind. So I'm glad that they were kind of like, okay, we can wait it out and see what happens. If she has another ear infection before her follow-up, which is around October, then I would go ahead and get like an ASAP appointment to check. And then if she notices that like the fluid looks weird or abnormal and it's still there after a certain period of time, then we might think about doing a surgery. But for right now, Mia's fine. She hasn't gotten another infection, and it's nothing due to her swimming classes, nothing due to her bottle because she does not go to sleep with a bottle. The only thing is she does go to sleep with a pacifier. But I did tell the doctor that after Mia's asleep and I go in to check on her, I remove the bobo and then she doesn't use it for the rest of the night. So it wasn't that bad. Okay, so apart from all of that situation, I wanted to talk about, I don't want this video to be like so negative, but honestly, I feel like this point in Mia's life, she's been the most difficult only because she wants to talk. She wants to communicate with you. She just hasn't figured out a way how to. So I feel like with that being said, this stage is going to be really hard until she actually starts talking. At her 18-month appointment, they did like those development progress questionnaires, and she was fine with all of that. She was good with her motor skills. She was good with her learning development. She was good with everything. Mia at this age points to whatever she wants, and then if I notice, I normally can pick up right away what she's pointing at, and then I'll tell her the word to it, which has been helping. Sometimes she repeats it, sometimes she doesn't. Let's say we're in the car and she wants something to eat. She'll start like whiny. She'll start with the and then I'll be like, what do you need, Mia? She won't say anything, but I'll start, naming a few things. I'll say, do you want agua? Blankie? Do you want a snack? And then she starts nodding her head. I'm like, okay, you want a snack? Can you say snack? And then, like I said, she'll say snack, or she'll say the word when I actually give it to her. So she knows the word, she just doesn't know how to ask for it yet. Another thing I wanted to touch base on in regards to her pointing to something that she wants or anything like that, Mia's super picky, super picky. So I literally, I don't know. It's just a child's, I don't know, level of temperament. I don't know how to call it, but basically it's literally always like a racing game with her. If I can't figure out what she wants before a certain period of time, then she throws a tantrum. So I'm trying to get her out of that, where I'm like, no, Mia, we don't throw tantrums. You just talk to me. Tell me what you want. What is it that you want? Take me to what you want, We have to try and communicate with each other, which, like I said, isn't going to happen anytime soon. She's only a year and a half, and from what I've heard and what people are telling me, she's good at the development that she's doing right now. She knows sign language. She can recognize the ABCs. She says about 15 words. Normally, when I say it, she repeats it. Occasionally, she'll actually say the word on her own, but normally it's when I'm asking her to repeat the word. Another thing that I wanted to touch base on was, like I said, I'm trying not to make this video so negative, but in all reality, when your child is transitioning from a baby to a toddler, they become a completely different person. Trust me. So it just all depends on what's your most effective way of parenting, of disciplining, of doing all of that. It just all depends on the parent. What I've noticed is most effective for me and keeps me the most sane is if Mia's throwing a tantrum, and there's two different types of tantrums for her. There's the I'm upset or I'm sad type of tantrum, and then there's the mean tantrum. When she does the I'm sad kind of tantrum, then I try to calm her down. I try to redirect her. I try to, try get her off the subject of why she's even freaking out. If she does the mean tantrum, like if she hits me, she slaps me on purpose, things like that, if I'm at home, then I take her to her room. She sits on her bed. I don't close the door or anything, but I tell her, you need to calm down and you're not allowed to hit mommy. And then I literally just walk out the room. I leave the door open. She walks out whenever she's calm. And I notice she won't walk out if she's still going crazy and crying. She will sit on her bed until she's calm, and then she will walk out the door. After that, I normally tell her, like, can I get a hug? Can I get a besito, a kiss, anything like that? Sometimes she does it. Depends on her mood. Now, if we're out somewhere, I will, like if we're at another house, I'll just take her to a different room. If we're out in public, I'll take her to a different area. I obviously won't leave her by herself, but I try to show her that separation. Like, okay, no, you need to take a moment for yourself when you have those tantrums and you need to relax. That's the most effective way that's worked for me. I notice when I stay in the room with her while she's having her tantrum, it just gets worse. And when someone talks to her, I feel like it gets worse. So my child just happens to respond better when you let her be, you let her calm down, and she comes out whenever she's ready. But apart from all the negatives, Mia is 27.7 pounds. So I feel like this is the longest amount of time in like toddler time, from like 18 month clothing to like 3T. She's been in 3T for the past like almost 3 months, and that's the longest period of time where she's been in the same like size clothing, which is fine. They normally around this age, like most pediatricians or doctors or most family in general, tell you that when they start being more active, when they start actually walking, moving on their own, and all of those things, they don't retain that baby weight. Now it's really, they start getting more taller, they start, filling in themselves more, but it's not so much like baby weight. So yeah, it's been very helpful for me because for the past, I feel like I was buying clothes literally every paycheck, like every 2 weeks. I was buying I was buying 2 or 3 shirts here, and then I would have to go a size up, and then some clothes fit her in 18 to 24 months, but then some things fit her in 2T, all depending on the brand and all that stuff. But I just felt like I was always buying clothes, and then I realized for a second, I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't had to do any shopping, so it's a plus. Another thing that has changed since Mia's been, what was the last update? Like 16 months? She's still a baby, don't get me wrong. My child's only 1.5. I don't want to take that away from her, but she shows so much independence that sometimes it's literally like walking around with just a little kid. It's not necessarily a baby. For example, our morning routine now, I don't have to carry Mia out of the house. She literally knows when I'm taking my keys and when I'm taking her backpack, when I'm taking my purse. It's just time to walk out the door, and she goes to the door. I'll open the door. She'll start walking, and she kind of walks side by side to me. Obviously, I have to pick her up to put her in the car, but just those little things, you start noticing that they're transitioning. They're no longer babies to where you have to constantly carrying them and holding them, and it's definitely not that anymore with Mia. I feel like during this age also, I'm able to do more things with her. She's doing swimming, she's doing dance, and apart from that, I'm able to take her to the park. I'm able to take her, to go get ice cream. I'm able to go just doing little things like that. Indoor playgrounds. I want to take her to a museum. I want to take her to a zoo. Little things like that, because I feel like I'm no longer having to pack or just wear such a huge load of 50 million things that you have to when you're with a baby. So I feel like that's really nice. I'm kind of transitioning, starting to be able to use my purses again, which I haven't done in who knows how long, but it's working to my advantage because I can just wear a larger tote and I don't necessarily have to have a diaper bag anymore. It all depends on where you're going, how far it is, all that stuff, of course. How long will you be out? But if it's a day-to-day thing, it's normally either her small little, preschool size backpack, or it's things in my tote, which works. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about is I've noticed, well, first, Mia's daycare teacher told me about it, and then I started to notice that when Mia takes a nap, she's normally not that wet anymore. So in a couple of months, I'll probably start transitioning and seeing how she does with potty training. I know I watch some YouTubers who are potty training their children now, and it's constantly like they accidentally leak on themselves, or it takes like literally 2 seconds and then they're completely wet and you have to change them, and it's just a mess. But I'm glad that her daycare teacher is so informative about this, that she's able to help me with things like this. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure we're going to try before she's 2, if not, when she's going into 2, depending on how that goes. But that's basically all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed Mia's 17, 18th month update. This is it, guys. I feel like my baby is no longer a baby anymore. She's a toddler. She's learning her own personality. She's learning her own things, and that's perfectly fine. I'm noticing our relationship is actually stronger because when she comes from daycare, or when she goes to daycare, normally she has kind of like I wouldn't say an episode, but sometimes she has one. Most of the time she gets distracted by all the kids that are there. When I go to pick her up, she gives me a hug, she gives me a kiss, she's happy to see me. We're enjoying this time more together because I'm trying to do so much for her, in the sense where I'm trying to do activities with her. I'm trying to be really hands-on so she can learn everything that she needs to learn. So yeah, I feel like this is a fun age. It's pretty hard because they don't quite talk, but this is kind of like the introduction to the 2-year-olds and to the 3-year-old that they're going to be. Mia has a really funny character already as it is, so I don't want my baby to grow up, but at the same time, I know it's going to be fun watching her grow and being able to hang out with her and play with her and just entertain each other, basically. So yeah, that's all I have for Mia's 17th and 18th month update. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!